So oftentimes the first company to respond is going to win. And so speed to lead is not a marketing metric, it's a revenue multiplier oftentimes. And so if you're taking 15 to 20 to 30 minutes to call back, you might be handing your job to your competitors. And so here I'm going to show you how to create this heat map that will calculate the median time by lead source, by month, and by year. And then also have a dynamic changing cell that will change based on, the what is greater than, right? Greater than the target is red. So greater than 10 minutes is red. And so let's get started. So we have a data set right here. And the main columns that we're going to need are, a date column, so the lead date and time, and then a time, from speed to lead. What you might have, and I don't have it in this data set, but essentially it would be this the time the lead came in, and then another column that would have the time they were contacted, and then you can just subtract the two. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we need is we need to strip out the month and the year from the lead column or from the date column, and I've already done it to create the original heat map, but I'll do it again. So equals text, and then comma, and then 4 M's per month. Make sure it's in quotations as well because it's text. And it's not a numerical value. And then the same thing here, and again, you can pick either one because we want the month and the year, and it's the same for both of these. And then comma, and then 4 Y's. And so you have that here. So we're good to go with that. But I'm going to delete it because I already have it. I just wanted to show you how to redo it. Okay, so the next thing we need is we need to get a unique list of these months here and the year, and then a unique list of the marketing channel. And then we want to take an average, an overall average, or I guess we shouldn't call it average. Let's call it overall because it's not an average. It's a median. Okay, so to get a unique list, we want to use the unique function. And what you can do is just equals unique, click in Y1, hold down, then highlight the year, hold down shift to highlight the year, and then control shift down to get the whole range. And then you have everything you need here. And then I'm going to copy this and then paste, press control shift V to paste the formulas. Okay, so now we need the unique list, but across the top here. And so I want to show you a function, or actually 3 functions in one. So the first thing we want is we want the unique function for the table leads channel. And this is why you want to put things in a table, because once you put it in a table, then you can do the formula inside. You don't have to go back and forth, and it saves a bit of time. So we want the unique leads for channel. So we have that here, but we want this sorted alphabetically. So then we're going to use the sort function here. So we got that. But finally, we don't want it in the column. We want it across the rows, right? And so you can use the transpose function here. And now you have it sort of exactly how you need it. Again, copy and then control shift V. Okay, so now this might be a function you've never seen. So we want to get the median time it took for Angie, January 2025, the speed to lead contact. And so what we're going to do is first we want to, there's a median function in Excel, and we're going to use that, but there's no median if. Like, give me the median if it's January and it's 2025 and it's Angie. So we don't have that. So we need to somehow get that range of just those values into a single cell. Meaning like into a dynamic range here, and then take the median of that. And I'll show you how to do it. So equals filter. So we want to filter the table, the speed to lead minutes. This is the number. This is what we want to show here. And we want to filter it based on, and I need to use a bracket here. And more than likely I'm going to mess this part up with the bracket because it's a little bit weird sometimes. So we want the table leads month to equal, don't use a comma, equals this, close your bracket, multiplied. Make sure you multiply, well, it's not about it. Yeah, make sure you multiply this. I'm trying to highlight it, but so make sure you use the asterisk. So the month is that times bracket table leads year equals what is it, C3, close your bracket, times open bracket table leads, and then channel equals here. And I think I might, let's see. Nope, okay, so that works. Okay, so now this is every, this is every section that has, or every row, the value of that row of the speed to lead column, if it's Angie January 2025. And so now we can take the median. And so now you have it. And so now what we want to do is we want to drag this over, but you'll see we can't. And the reason is because these things are changing. Speed to lead becomes contacted. B3 becomes C3. So we need to lock these in. And so what I mean by that is if you add a $sign for the month and the year before the letter, and then in the middle before the number for the row, it'll lock that in. And so when you put the $sign before the letter, as you move over, the column doesn't change. The dollar before the letter is locking the column. And then as you go down, you don't want the row to change. And putting the dollar before the number and after the letter, it will keep the row the same as you drag it down, but change the rows as you go left to right. And then now make sure to copy and paste. If you drag it over, the table functionality still doesn't work. This is changing, right? It should be speed to lead. But if you copy and paste, it will solve that problem. Okay, and so now you have that. And then the final thing, not final thing, a couple more things. The first I want to do is I want to do overall, and I'll do it right here. And then I want to do overall again here. And this is going to take, this here is going to take the overall of January 2025 as to where this is going to take the overall of the marketing channel, for the year. And so the cool thing is we don't have to redo everything. So I'm going to copy this, paste it here, and then we want this to be Angie, but we don't want it to have the month and the year. So anywhere you see the month and the year, just take that out. So just take this section here out, and you should be good. Again, copy it and then paste, and you're good there. And then for here, we want to strip out the marketing channel, but leave the month and the year. So copy here, paste it, and then now you can just strip out this part here. And then you have that. You can double click this down. Okay, so finally, the last thing we want to do is we want to create a benchmark, right? To create that, from the beginning of the video, to create the benchmark of, if it's above this number, we want it to be red, right? Because it means it took you longer than, 5 minutes in this example, but you could have, 10, 15, 20, however you want to do it. So just highlight everything, hold down Control, and then highlight this, and then go to Home, Conditional Formatting, highlight cells greater than this number here. And then you have that. And so, yeah, so now you can see as you change things, you can see the highest channels, right? And so it looks like Angie, a lot of people aren't contacting, same with email. And then even Facebook and Instagram has some delay. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is I want to have this say you want it to be target, 20. But the problem here is that this is being stored as text or, recognized as text by Excel. So just type in the number 20, press Control-1 to bring up the Format Cell dialog box, go to Custom, click the 0, and then you can type in with quotations, target, and now you have that. I'll just make this blue, but now you can see it's still dynamic. Whoop, 10. Anyways, so that's all I got for this video. If you want the data source, there's a link to download it. If you can't find it, shoot me an email, question@databoards.io. And also, if you need help structuring your data in a way that's usable like this, because from here, if you're watching, any of my other videos, or if you're going through any of the other chapters in the book, this, for the marketing section, this exact data set, you can get 10, 12, 15 very valuable KPIs that tell you a completely different story, right? So we just did, median time to contact, but if you wanted, gross profit by lead source by month, that's also extremely valuable, especially whenever you can factor in your costs. Because if your lead cost is greater than your gross profit, it's like you don't have much of a business, right? But anyways, that's all I got for this one. If you do need help with this type of file, shoot me an email. There's also a link to top of my calendar, but if you can't find it, shoot me an email. And if not, then I'll see you in future lessons.